So as you know, we do we try to have concepts every year. We try to tackle maybe in a deep dive on things. And one of those bills obviously was the bill that Chairman Paris is going to lay out. But really good product. He caucused it yesterday. I think the caucus was very, very pleased with what he had to say. So we'll turn it over to him and talk about all the good work he's doing.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Majority Leader. It's fun to join this show this morning.
High ratings.
High ratings, that's correct. It should be on NPR. Just really important work that we're doing here with 5004. As you all know, we've had a slew of tragic occurrences in our state over the last year and the last few months, really, in terms of the loss of life of many children and their relation to DCF. So we've been spending the last few months working not only across the aisle, but within many of the caucuses, both in the Senate and in the House, trying to figure out the best ways to move forward, to put in some guardrails to better protect kids, but also give more resources to DCF so that their caseworkers also have more protections and better avenues to achieve their job. And also the big piece in all of this is really strengthening foster care system through families, fictive kin, grandparent care. And so we're really proud of what we're doing here with this bill. Bless you. And I think the biggest piece that you'll likely see coming out of this bill that will be talked about the most is the oversight committee that will be chaired by OPM, the chairs of appropriations and the chairs of children, which will go into effect once the bill is signed, obviously. That will provide oversight to DCF with its sister agencies and with many other advocates and constituency members to help change some of the big things that we hope to achieve in future sessions, because we can't do everything in a short session.
Is this the change that people want to see when it comes to DCF?
Susan, I think that this is the start of a change that people want to see when it comes to DCF. I think people want accountability. I think people want to see that we are getting the answers in real time from DCF. And while we can't close every loop, we can certainly begin. And I think this is an earnest endeavor that we're doing here.
I think one of the most important parts for me, I shouldn't say most important, but what I was struck by is we haven't given an increase to foster parents in a very long time for the stipend they receive. Or grandparents raising grandchildren. I have a lot of constituents where grandparents are raising grandchildren. None of these have been increased in over a decade.
Yeah.
This is a start. We've budgeted for it. It'll be in the budget that we adopt this weekend. There's a lot of things in here that I think are tackling it from a variety of ways. It's not just blaming DCF for the problem.
Correct.
We're trying to better incentivize and take care of those families who are willing to step up and bring in foster children. There's a lot they've put into this. It's a really good piece of legislation.
I was contacted by someone who's part of that organization who wants grandparents to have more say. How would that work in the dynamics? And what do they really want, and what have you heard from them? And how could that protect children? And are they the backbone or backup for these other kids that fall through the cracks?
Well, many grandparents are having challenges with the court system because they're not seen on an equal playing field as foster care parents or fictive kin. So for us to battle the courts, I'll leave that to Steve Sastrom and Gary Winfield next year, but this is certainly starting to give them more resources and paying them more. And to the Speaker's point, they've not had a pay increase since the year 2000, and on average they're only two decades. So they're only getting about $2,200 a year per child if you're a grandparent, and if you're a foster care parent, you're only getting about $10,000 per year, which we know in this day and age that's really impossible to try to raise kids with that much help and resources. So that's the first start, is paying them more, bringing them to parity, and I think that we can work on the probate court issue in future sessions.
And these are grandparents who are raising their grandchildren.
That's correct. 70s and 80s, some of them raising great-grandchildren.
Yeah. The fictive kin change, is that something DCF is not allowed to consider now when they're placing somebody in a foster home outside of direct family?
That's correct. It's not that they don't allow it, Mike. It's that it's not priority for them. I think for them, they're really trying to make emergency placements as quickly as they possibly can to ensure that the child is in a safe place. But oftentimes what we have seen over the last couple of months, and Rep. Wieslander, our good vice chair, is also witnessed this, many people have written to us saying that they wanted to take possession and take over guardianship of their loved ones, and that they were denied, and that they had no reason, written reason as to why they were denied. So this now requires that there has to be a written reason as to why they are being denied, but also any fictive kin or familial kin would have priority placement with the child.
This bill calls for training, incentives. I know you talked about the stipends for families, but is there also money in the budget for staffing, training, other things at DCF to maybe address some of the shortcomings?
Sure.
So, thank you, Mr. Speaker. So, there's not a lot of money to address, obviously, the staffing piece, but what we are focused on this year is the retention piece. There's a new internship program that we're starting for folks who want to go into the field of working in child welfare and working directly with DCF. They have an internship process that will be able to provide a stipend. In addition to that, there's a mentee and mentorship process and program that we're starting. So if I'm a first-year caseworker working with a more seasoned caseworker, both of us would be able to receive a stipend. We're hoping that might be able to provide some immediate relief and resources for people to want to stay. But look, I mean, we can't take a big bite out of the apple. We're taking a pretty significant bite here. This is the most comprehensive changes that we've seen for this agency out of this committee in quite some time. So I think that this is a good start, and we'll continue to look at these things in the Oversight Committee.